Hi everyone, my name is Mary Magnuson and I administer the Blanding Community Broadband program, which includes being the Zoom host for most of this unique 2020 conference, Broadband 2020 Connected We Stand. Over the past 7 months, many of us have become very proficient users of Zoom, but some haven't had to yet. We hope this short video tour is helpful. I'm going to be doing tutorials on the computer only. At the end of this video, Anne's going to show us a little bit about using the phone, but you'll get a more complete conference experience if you use your computer, because you'll see there's a lot more features in Zoom. When you first sign in, you're going to be muted and your video will be off. You can feel free to stay that way while watching speakers. But when we move to smaller breakout rooms, or if you'd like to participate in a larger group discussion, all you need to do is move your cursor to the lower left-hand corner of the screen. You have the option there to stop the video. You can restart it again right there. You can also mute yourself. See, I'm talking and you can't hear me. Then you can go ahead and unmute yourself. And as you can see, if you're watching this, if you start talking when you're muted, your computer will likely tell you so. You can also go up to your upper right of your face or your little name box. You see Anne here has, she's also joined on her phone without her video enabled, so this is how she shows up. You can also go up here to the upper right of your little name box and you can hit mute. You can also, stop your video here. The other thing you can do here with your audio is you can use your phone or you can use your computer. Zoom does a really good job using your device or using your computer. Sometimes on webinar software, I've found that the audio is kind of funky, but Zoom does a really good job. So try that first. If it doesn't work for some reason, you can always dial in using your phone. I'm still a co-host on this meeting, so I have a lot more options as you will have, but you can see here, switch to phone audio. You should have that option. So speaking of I think I mentioned your Zoom name box and your Zoom name here. If you don't have a Zoom account, when you sign in, you might have something kind of odd as your Zoom name. So I just wanted to show you how you could change that. You can go up to the upper right hand of your name box or your face box or, little Brady Bunch box here. And you can rename yourself. So there you go, that easy. Also note, we're going to be recording most of these sessions, sometimes streaming them to YouTube. So your name and image could show up online somewhere. We are going to be doing we have done another video on privacy, so be sure you check that out. When you rename yourself, you can, use whatever you want within reason. You can use your full name, your partial name. You could, if you're really concerned about privacy, you could always say something like Madison, Minnesota resident. That would be fine. Whatever you're comfortable with. The next thing I wanted to show you was the chat window. So if you scroll to the bottom, see, it won't show up all the time, but if you scroll down, you'll see some commands at the bottom of your screen, and one of them is chat. So this is an awfully nice feature. While speakers are speaking, we're going to, if you have a question or comment, we're going to encourage you to use the chat box to ask your comments. One of our conference planners will be monitoring that and either keeping track of your questions for after the speaker is finished, or if appropriate, kind of breaking in. But yeah, if you want to first use the chat window when you're participating in our conference. It's also handy to keep, as many people muted as possible on Zoom. Sometimes even if you're very quiet, if you're unmuted, we can get some disruption of the sound, the overall sound quality. So we're going to encourage you to mute as much as possible. Let's see, what else was I going to go over today? The other thing you can look at if you'd like is the participant window. There could be a lot of, and that's right down here next to the chat box. There could be, we could have 50 people on the screen, and it's kind of hard to, when we have 50, it's kind of hard to see everyone. So you can, here you can scroll up and down and kind of see everyone. You can also, you see, mute yourself here. You won't be able to like mute other people, but I can just do that because I'm a host, but you can do some things with yourself. You can change your, yeah. Oops. Excuse me. I just pulled up I just accidentally almost renamed myself again. Christy and Ann can't see that, but you can because I'm recording my computer screen. Other cool things you can do on Zoom. Christy, do you want to share a document? I'm just going to have Christy pull up something so you can kind of see what things look like when that happens, because it does kind of change your screen view. So as you can, when Christy's sharing a document, we are now viewing everything in full screen. So if you hit escape, you're exiting full screen, and then you can see the participant and chat window. If you enter full screen again, well, gosh, now I can't find it. I think because I'm okay. So if you enter full screen again, you'll see that the chat window in the participant box is gone, and if you want to chat, you'd have to pull up this little screen and kind of keep it somewhere. I don't like that myself, so I'm gonna recommend that you exit full screen. You can either hit escape or go up to this little window and do it. At this point, you can also change your view in other ways. Right now, I am in side-by-side mode. You can also switch to this mode where you're not side-by-side. You're just seeing the speaker and a couple more people along the top here. I personally kind of like the side-by-side mode. You can drag this little window thing here and see more people if you'd rather see more people and less presentation. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. The cool thing about Zoom is that you can do whatever you want to your own view, and it won't change anything on anyone else's screen. It's all up to you, and you don't have to worry about messing around with the entire conference. Just go ahead and play around and have fun with it. Hey, Christy, do you want to stop sharing? It would have made sense if before I did this, I would have showed you this. If you go up to, when we're in this mode without screen sharing, you can change your view here. You can either pick gallery view or speaker view, or possibly full screen. I have the most recent edit, or I have the most up-to-date version of Zoom right now. So I also have this full screen, which is brand new. I haven't seen it before. But right now we're in gallery view. This is speaker view. And full screen, what does that look like? Okay, full screen, that's cool too. I'm gonna exit out of there. That should be about it as far as using Zoom on your computer. We are going to have an office hours session on Monday at, that was noon, right, Ann? Noon to 1?
Noon to 1?
Yep, noon to 1 on Monday. That link will be in the email I send you all on Friday about participating in the conference with just some advice and instructions and that sort of thing. But Ann, do you want to give a little Zoom tour on your phone?
Sure. And I'm going to keep it really high level because the truth is everybody's phone is a little bit different, but I spend a lot of my time doing Zoom calls on my phone like this, and just from the very top level, it's easy to sign up with a link. You just click and it'll kind of walk you right through everything. You can see by default what I have is speaker view, which is, we got more amps than anybody needs right there in one screen. Mary was talking before about muting yourself or turning on the video or anything like that. To see those options on your phone, I just click. And now you'll see, I probably can't read them, but you'll see there are buttons at the bottom. One is for the audio, one is for the video, one is to share a screen. The other one is more. If you click on more, then you'll get the option to turn on the chat. And I might do that in a second, but so those all of just touch the screen. And on mine, it shows up at the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else's, it doesn't show up on the top, but just touching the screen is enough to get those buttons there. The other thing, as I said, by default, the main screen is the speaker screen. If you want to see that gallery view, if you want to see the other attendees in the session, you just swipe. And if there are more than 4 of us, I think you can see up to about 6 at a time on one screen. If there are 20, 50 of us, you just keep swiping and you'll be able to see everybody who's in the room. And then I just swipe back to get back to it. I'm going to see quickly if I'm able to do this while people can see. If I click on more, and here I can raise my hand. I can do a number of different things, but the one that I actually on a practical basis ever do is that chat. And ooh, you can't see that at all. But knowing that you wouldn't be able to see too much, but trust me, what you're able to see there is the chat screen. And then you can close it at the bottom. But as I said, I think that the top 3 things, if you want to see the gallery view, swipe. If you want to somehow participate in a different way, just click on there. So it's, and as Mary says, especially the reason I know so much about this is sometimes I like to walk while I do the Zoom calls. And I will say, as Mary said before, that's when you want to mute yourself. Because sometimes it seems quiet to you, but then you find out later it was a really windy day and nobody else could hear. So as Mary said again, that for the full experience, really using the computer is kind of best practice. But sometimes this is what you have, and sometimes you're able to pay attention. You're able to join us from this when you wouldn't be able to join with computer if you're waiting in line or something. So thank you. That's about it.
All right. Yeah, and if you want to practice any of this stuff, join us for office hours on Monday from noon to 1. We will be here and we can kind of show you around in person, per se. So thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.